Have you ever been in a place in life where you just feel overwhelmed, defeated, like giving up or not really caring anymore would be the easiest thing to do? You don't know how you're going to have the strength to actually face tomorrow. If you've lived any amount of life, I'm sure you have felt this way at some point. Maybe even now you're going through something difficult and challenging. And I just want to encourage you, because this is something that I've been pondering now for a little bit, this idea of where our strength comes from. And the strength that I'm talking about isn't just a physical strength, it's the mental strength, it's the emotional strength to endure and to face the really not so great things that can come up in our lives. So in this video, I wanted to share a couple verses that I feel can be an encouragement to you. So it's no surprise that I believe that our strength comes from the Lord. Perhaps you've heard the phrase, "What doesn't kill you will make you stronger." And though for our character, those things can be true. Yes, we might come out of a difficult situation more wise and more calloused towards the difficulties of life, but I don't think that necessarily means that we're more strong or strengthened to endure other things that might come up. So true strength that will endure through difficulty, isn't something that's from within, but I believe is something that's given to us. And not only that, but there are some things that we can do, that you can do in order to receive His strength. And I want to share those specific things with you right now. The first one is this: strength comes in waiting on the Lord's timing. Isaiah 40:31 says this: "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Notice what it says right there at the beginning: but they who wait for the Lord. Maybe that's missed sometimes. We like to go to the verses of soaring like eagles on eagle's wings, and running and not getting weary, and all of those great illustrations of what the Lord's strength is about. Notice the command at the beginning is those who wait on the Lord. And I think that's key, because we often want to run out in front of the Lord or do it our own way. I remember when our kids were little and we would go on family hikes, the boys would love to run out in front, and sometimes they would choose a wrong path. They wouldn't exactly know where they're going, and then we had to catch up and say, no, we're headed down this path, or we're going here. Sometimes those paths that they wanted to go on led off of cliffs, and we had to say, no, you can't go that direction. In many ways, when we do things in our own strength, when we go in front of the Lord's will for our lives, we miss out on what God wants to offer us. And one of the specific things He says here is, when you wait on me, when you wait on my timing, you will be strengthened in a way that will endure through the difficulties or the challenges that direction has, but it's worth it because He's supplying everything that you need. The second way we receive strength from the Lord is in believing. One of my favorite verses, and one that I'm sure many of you have heard before, Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Now, just as a disclaimer, this does not mean I can go lift a car because I believe that God will give me the strength to do that. That's not what the context of this verse is talking about. What it is talking about is a belief and trust and faith in God, that in Him and in pursuing His will for your life, He will provide everything that you need in order to accomplish that. Specifically, the strength to endure, the strength to persevere and to push through the trials and see your character develop and see you navigate the difficulties that life might bring, that He will sustain you, He will strengthen you. So be encouraged and have belief that God will sustain you, that He will strengthen you for whatever challenges you might go through. And and recognize when God has been faithful to strengthen you. There have been times and weeks and months even that I've gone through, and I look back and I recognize and realize that there was no way I was going to make it through that week in my own strength. But because I trusted God in each moment, He sustained me, and I could be thankful for that. And it bolstered my faith in Him that the next time I have a challenge, He will strengthen me. And the last way that we are strengthened in the Lord is through humility and surrender. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand." And then Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all who labor and who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I know for me, when I'm not being strengthened in the Lord, when I'm kind of at my wit's end, when I've really lost hope, when I'm really down and out, when I feel discouraged or depressed or all of those type of things, often it's because I've put the need to figure things out and to persevere and to get through whatever challenge it is on myself. And it could be pride. It could be just me pulling, my boots up and saying, I got this, I don't need help. And in those moments, I'm forfeiting what God's offering me, His rest and His strength for me to endure the very thing that I'm trying to get through. And when I pause and humble my spirit, humble my heart, surrender my desire or my way, and say, Lord, you have your way. It's in those moments that I truly understand and recognize the strength that God's willing to give me and the rest that He's willing to give me in that as well. And it also says to not fear. Life can get very scary. It can get very overwhelming. And we've all probably been there, but nothing's too big for God. So I would encourage you with this. Don't give up. I'm sure some of you have experienced just difficulty and challenges in life. I know many people who seemingly can't catch a break in life, and life can beat you down, and yet God says, I will give you strength. I will give you everything you need to even endure the most difficult of times. I wish I could tell you that life will relent, that you won't deal with difficulties anymore, but that's just not the truth. But God offers us a solution. He offers us Himself. That in Jesus, in putting our faith and trust in Him, we can have that strength to endure, that strength to persevere. And that strength is unlike anything we can muster inside of ourselves or out of our own doing. It's only through Him. I know this video has been a little different, but this has been on my mind and I wanted to get it out there. Maybe it can be an encouragement to some of you. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need some help, if you need some encouragement. I would love to encourage you or point you to some more passages that you could read to find encouragement. But the biggest thing is know that you're loved, know that you are valued, and ultimately that you are a lot stronger than you think you are. Not because you're amazing, though you are, but because God is the one who strengthens us and you. All right, see you on the next one, guys.